Oh, everyone makes mistakes, so yes they do. Your sister and your brother and your dad and mother too. Big people, small people, matter of fact, all people. Everyone makes mistakes, so why can't you? Yom Kippur is a day of recognizing mistakes. On the holiest day of the year, at the heart of our faith, we come together to say, we messed up. Everyone makes mistakes. Big Bird taught us that on Sesame Street in 1970, and it remains true today. In the world surrounding us, no one admits their mistakes anymore. Sometimes we're forced to apologize, as in, say you're sorry to your sister. Sometimes our mistakes are out there for all the world to see. Take Piotr Cezarek. You might not know his name, but he is the living embodiment of stealing candy from a baby. In his case, this grown adult snatched a tennis star's hat out of the hands of a 10-year-old boy at the US Open. He thought he deserved it more than a child and flat out stole it. He made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Judaism stresses it. We say, come to temple, stay all day, and beat your chest in sad reflection that you messed up. If everyone makes mistakes, what can we do about it? We might beat ourselves up, hide them, deny them. That's not the Jewish way. There is more we can do when faced with our stumbles. I adored my older brother growing up. He didn't feel the same way about his younger sibling, who he found, frankly, annoying. So he wasn't particularly nice to me. As the years passed, away from sharing the same house and growing older, we began to appreciate each other in new ways and became friends. But there was always an underlying tension left over from our childhood. One day out for a walk in New York City, my brother turned to me and said, "I treated you pretty poorly growing up. I'm sorry. I wish I could take it back, but I love our connection and relationship now." That honest reflection allowed our friendship to grow and become more meaningful and deeper in the years that have followed. Everyone makes mistakes, and our liturgy helps us embrace that. We are not so good at admitting mistakes, so the prayer service lists out a whole bunch of them for us. Some might not seem to fit us, but most of them, if we think about it, really do. And to make it easier, we say them all in the first person plural. We have stumbled. We have strayed. We have done wrong. Once we've admitted them, even if our machzor is giving us the extra push, what do we do next? On previous High Holy Days, I've shared the Rabbi Mark Kaiserman's 6-step repentance to Teshuva plan, or the High Holidays brought to you by the letter R. Those steps are responsibility, recognition, remorse, repair, resolve, and refrain. That remains a good plan. Let's today focus on just one of those R's, repair. It is easiest to let a mistake just sit there, to justify it, to ignore it, to attack others for causing it in the first place. Judaism says otherwise. Take Moses. He made a mistake, a big one. Seeing the Israelites worshiping the golden calf, he threw the first thing he'd get his hands on. But unlike a glass that is expendable, Moses was holding the 10 Commandments that God had given him, and it shattered into pieces. When cooler's heads had prevailed, Moses had to repair the damage. He couldn't put the stone back together, so he gathered up all the pieces and put them into the Ark of the Covenant, which would later melt the faces of people in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And he went back up onto Mount Sinai, and there he personally carved a new set of tablets. Repairing our mistakes is an incredible challenge, but in the repair, we can transform our error into a blessing. A 15th century apocryphal story recounts the tale of Japanese shogun named Ashikaga Yoshimasa. He broke his favorite prized Chinese bowl. It was irreplaceable, so he sent it back to China for repair. The bowl was returned, mended with ugly metal staples. Disappointed with the result, he challenged his Japanese craftsmen to find a more aesthetically pleasing solution. They looked at the pieces of the bowl and decided to add lacquer. The binding agent was still too visible, so they embraced that aspect and added goals to the lacquer, highlighting the fissures with renewed beauty. This process is known as kintsugi. As the cracks of the broken item are mended, gold, or sometimes silver or platinum, is used in the repair, transforming it to a new, beautiful object, often more meaningful than the original. Our Women's Connection hosted a program on kintsugi earlier this month, focusing on the art of repairing broken bowls. I asked Cantor Pincus about her experience, and she said to me it was frustrating and difficult. When holding the broken bowl together, you have to make sure the little cracks are meeting up. Other people's bowls broke into 3 pieces. Mine broke into many. It was much easier to smash the bowl than to put it back together. Judaism likewise uses this image in a familiar concept to all of us, tikkun olam. Initially, it was a mystical concept. At the dawn of creation, the vessels intended to contain God's light shattered. The shattering resulted in sparks of light being scattered and trapped within the material world. Rather than leave those sparks where they landed, our mission is tikkun olam, repairing the world and gathering the sparks through acts of kindness, justice, and ethical living. By performing these good deeds, we make the broken vessel whole, resulting in something more beautiful than before, as we create mitzvot together along the way. Everyone makes mistakes. The repairs can be challenging, but the results can be even better. Relationships that are fractured can be left to disintegrate, or can be tackled with their fissures filled with healthier ways of interacting for the long haul. Therapy helps us with the cracks in our own lives. It is in the process of embracing our imperfections that we find our truest gifts: courage, compassion, and connection, said author Brené Brown. The experience of recognizing and repairing the crack, a visible journey of struggle and healing, becomes an inseparable part of their strength. The Maggid of Dubno told it another way. A king possessed a ruby of unimaginable size and perfection, which he prized above all of his kingdom. One morning, he discovered a fine, unremovable scratch marring the center of the flawless stone. Despondent, he summoned every master jeweler in the realm, but each one delivered the same devastating result. The flaw was too deep. Any attempt to polish it out would destroy the jewel's size and value. The only option was to cut the ruby in 2. Just when all hope was lost, a simple stoneworker arrived and promised the king that he would not only repair the ruby, but also make it more beautiful than it had ever been. The king granted him the time, but when the stoneworker returned, the scratch was still visible. The king was furious until the craftsman asked him to look closer. He had not erased the flaw, but had skillfully used it as the main structural line in a complex, beautiful engraving. He had carved an exquisite rose around the scratch, so that the original line of damage now stood as the perfect natural stem of the flower. The king was overjoyed, realizing his ruby was no longer merely a perfect gem, but a unique treasure, a monument to transformation. People should wear their scars with pride. They are signs of not only the stumbles of the past, but the resilience to keep going. It takes practice, and that should be something we rejoice in. There's a reason we say these prayers every year. Every year we are reminded to engage in the practice of teshuvah, to recognize our mistakes and actively build from them. We know it takes a conscious, continuous effort, which is why, as Brené Brown reminds us, courage is a habit, a virtue. You get it by courageous acts. It's like you learn to swim by swimming. You learn courage by couraging. We all have more work to do. Cantor Pincus told me, I still have the bag of shards of my bowl, and I'm planning on fixing it. This afternoon's Neela service reminds us that the gates of heaven are sealing, a final push. It's too easy to let the mistakes sit there, denying they're a problem and refusing to see a path. But this is your moment to choose courage. This is a time to go from listing our mistakes to having the couraging to repair them. This is your year. Maybe today is your day. Pick up the phone and call that person. Turn to a loved one and say, I'm sorry. Use the resources around you to address the fissures in yourself and come out the other side even stronger. As Big Bird taught us, if everyone makes mistakes in the whole wide world, then why can't you? Let this be a year we stop just confessing and start truly correcting. This is our mission. Make the scratches on your soul into a rose. Gather the pieces of broken light into an act of healing. Turn the cracks of your life and the cracks in our world into gold. Shana Tova.